Hello, everybody. I'm Allie Cobb, Director of Children's, Youth, and Family Ministries at St. John's United Methodist Church in Kansas City, and welcome to Storytime. Each week I have one of our St. John's families pick a number between 1 and 500, and whatever number that is, it correlates with a page on the Bible, of my kids' Bible, and that will be the story that I read for this week. And so I'm using the Deep Blue Bible Storybook from Cokesbury, and this week it was the Bratz family's turn to pick, and they picked number 13 for us. Now, if you've been tuning in with us, last week we read from page 2, actually, so this will kind of go together quite nicely. But we read about in the beginning how God created everything. We learned how there was darkness, and then God created day and light and sea and sky and all of the vegetables and all of the animals and everything. And so today we get to take it a step further, and we get to find out when God created us, when God created humans. So on page 13, we are still in the book of Genesis. And do you guys remember what the word Genesis means? It means beginning or start. So pretty much all of what the book of Genesis is about is just us getting our beginnings. So today we're going to learn about two people, and they were the first two people that God ever created. Do you guys know what those two people's names are maybe? It's Adam and then came Eve, but Adam came first, and we're going to learn about when God made us as part of creation. So God made the first human to live in the Garden of Eden. Now, we don't know exactly where the Garden of Eden is, but we know that it was a very, very beautiful place. So God asked the human to follow some rules. Take care of this land. Eat from any tree of the garden, but you cannot eat from the tree of good and evil. God noticed that the human was lonely in the garden, and God said, "It's not good for a human to be alone. I will make a partner for him." God made all of the wild animals and all of the birds and brought them to the human to name. The human named all of the animals, but none of the animals were as perfect for the human. So God put the human to sleep. Then God made a woman. The human was excited and said, "This one is the perfect partner. She will be called a woman." In the Garden of Eden, there lived a terrible snake. I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of snakes to begin with. The snake told the woman, "Eat some fruit from the tree of good and evil." And she said, "No, snake." God said, "Do not eat that special fruit." But the snake talked her into eating the special fruit. The woman took a bite and gave some to the man. When God found out that they had eaten the fruit, God said, "Look at what you've done. Now that you have both eaten my special fruit, life will be harder than it has been." Then God made Adam and Eve leave the garden. So in our story, it kind of covers a lot of ground. So in the beginning, God created one man, and God entrusted that man, Adam, to take care of the land. And now, I don't know about you guys, but here at our house, we love trees, and we love to take care of our land and everything. And God likes it too when you take care of things. He doesn't want us to hurt animals or other creatures or earth. God likes it when we're good stewards and help take care of things. And so God had entrusted the Garden of Eden to Adam to help take care of. And Adam was a good helper in doing all that. But he got lonely. Do you guys ever get lonely and kind of wish you had either a friend or maybe a brother or sister or somebody to play with? And God could see that Adam was lonely taking care of this beautiful land all by himself, and that's why he gave him Eve. Or he didn't give him Eve, but he created Eve to use as a partner, as kind of like a helper in everything, because God knows that things go better in pairs, and that life's easier when we have somebody to kind of, walk along with. And Eve was there to help Adam, but then Eve made a bad choice. Do you guys ever make bad choices and do things that you maybe shouldn't do? Maybe you don't always listen to your parents like you should, or maybe you've accidentally hurt somebody or something. Well, that's kind of what Eve did. She made a mistake, and she did something that she wasn't supposed to do. She had doubted God. She was selfish, and she was full of pride. And she even talked to Adam into eating this special fruit. We're not quite for sure what the fruit was, we can only guess, but she made a bad choice, and Adam kind of followed along with her. And God was very sad and disappointed, because here lied this beautiful garden for them to take care of, And as kind of their punishment, I don't know if your parents ever punish you or if you have consequences for your actions when you make bad choices. For my kiddos, they have to sit in timeout for a few minutes, and we might lose out on some tablet time. But as part of God's punishment to Adam and Eve and everything, he made life a lot harder. The ground was harder to work. They weren't always allowed in the Garden of Eden, and life was just a lot harder because they didn't listen. No, God doesn't do this to us anymore if we don't listen and obey, because God sent his one and only son, Jesus. Do you guys remember Jesus? He's found in the New Testament, so we'll cover him later on. But that's why God sent Jesus, to forgive us of our sins. And when we talk about forgiving us of our sins, it starts with the very first sin, which is what happened in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. That's why we have Jesus, and we get to know all about God's amazing love and everything, and that God's not there to punish us like he kind of was in the Old Testament, but they're just to be filled with love. So as you go through this week, think of ways that you guys can be good helpers and good stewards to your earth. Maybe if you're on like a family walk, you can pick up some trash or something. That would make God happy, and I'm sure your neighbors happy too, to help take care of the earth. Always be nice to animals. God likes it, especially when we're nice to his animals and everything. And remember how to be nice to each other. It's kind of hard sometimes to always be nice to others, but it makes God the happiest when we're not just happy to the people that we know, but people that we don't know and that we come across every day. So just remember, everything you do this week, do it with God's love. See you guys soon. That reminded me of my next point. Come back on Thursday, and we're going to be doing a craft time. And I don't know if you guys can see my hands right now, but I started getting our craft ready. So there might be some food coloring involved. So come on back on Thursday, and we'll be doing a fun craft together. Hope you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.